Hey, what's good everybody? This is Steven Kim Tutor. Before I start the video, I would like to ask you a couple favors. First, please like my video and subscribe to my channel to help me with the YouTube algorithm. I very much appreciate your clicks that only take 2 seconds. Second, support me through DonorBox if you could to help me develop affordable SAT, ACT, and AP programs in the near future. It's donorbox.org/StevenKimTutor, or you can click the link in the description below. Third, join me on Discord by adding Steven Kim Tutor pound 1681. I'm planning to develop our own community where people can get help not just from me, but from all the smarty pants on my Discord server. Lastly, I do limit the number of one-on-one private lessons online. My hourly rate is pretty high, so only if you think I would actually be worth the value for you, please send me an email at stevenkimtutor@gmail.com. Thanks for watching and good luck studying. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Steven Kim Tutor, and in this video I'll be working through College Board SAT practice test number 3, section 3, no calculator portion. So here we go. Number 1, a painter will paint n walls. So as you guys always see me doing this, n walls, and k is a constant, n is the number of walls, and L is the length of each wall in feet, h is the height. So everything else can just go, right? Oh, just another thing, they said k is a constant with units of dollar per square foot, and blah blah blah. The rest can all go. So if the customer asks the painter to use a more expensive type of brand, so they want to use more expensive brand of paint, which of the following factors the expression would change? Well, think about it. N is the number of walls. That's got nothing to do with the dollars. L is the length, nothing to do with the dollars. H is the height, nothing to do with the dollars. So if anything, the K that apparently has the unit of dollars per square root. So if they want to use more expensive type, that's probably what's going to change. So K it is, choice C. Number 2, if 3r is 18, cut. What is the value of 6r plus 3? So once again, the normal typical ways, you divide it by 3 on both sides, and r is equal to 6. You put that back in, 6 times 6 plus 3, that gives you 36 plus 3, which is 39. Well, another way to do it, just think simple. 3r is 18. You want 6r, that's double the 3r. So just double both sides, and that's how you get 6r is equal to 36. So put that shizzle right there. 36 plus 3 still gives you 39. Whatever floats your boat. If you're more used to just solving for the r and just plugging that shit back in, I mean, do as you wish. Number 3, which of the following is equal to a to the 2/3 power for all values of a? Make sure you guys know how to do this. The way that I try to understand this question is like this. Check this out. This is the way that I think this in my head. I call this a to the, out of 3 that I'm supposed to have, I only have 2 inside. So once again, out of the 3, I only have 2. So what does that mean? Out of the 3 roots, the cubic roots, I only have the a and 2 of them inside. So that's how I like to see it, and that's answer choice D. So if you guys want to memorize it, go ahead. But for me, it just kind of makes sense, right? It's 2 out of 3. So out of 3, aka out of the cubic root, you only got 2 inside, so a square inside. Number 4, the number of states that had joined the United States between 1776 and 1849 is twice the number of states that joined between 1850 and 1900. So this is where a lot of people trip. So when you guys do this, is it like, well, like, is it the x is equal to 2y or like the 2x is equal to y? People always kind of get confused where to put that times 2 on, right? So this is the way that I like to think about it. 1776 to 1849 and 1850 to 1900. They said that period, the 76 to 1849, that's twice. So what I like to call it is, I like to call this guy the big and this guy the small. So what I'm going to do is I'll call that x and I'll call this 2x. You see what I just did? I always get confused between which one I should give that 2 to. And if you guys think about it, well, small should be the x and the big should be the one that is twice. So that's why I put the 2x here. If 30 states joined the United States between 1776 and 1849, cut. So that's 30 right there. And X states joined between 1850 and 1900. Well, I wouldn't know. Which of the following equations is true? So if you guys take a look once again, well, I already said here 2x is equal to 30. So there you go. 2x is equal to 30. That's it. So that was pretty simple. Once again, if you guys cut the question into pieces and just follow one step at a time, the question is really not that difficult, right? So here we go. Next, number 5. If 5 over x is equal to 15 over x plus 20, what is the value of x over 5? So typical cross multiply. So 5 times x plus 20 is equal to 15x. Distribute 5x plus 100 is equal to 15x. Subtract 5x on both sides. And 100 is equal to 10x. Go ahead and divide by 10 on both sides, and one of the zeros cancels, so x is equal to 10. There it is, my answer, right? Hell no, man. This is what people do. 10's not your answer. X is 10. What is the question asking for? X over 5. So you got to put that shit back in right there. X is equal to 10 and put that boom right there. So 10 divided by 5. The answer is 2. So yeah, don't think you're freaking smart and shit and you just be, oh, like X is 10. That was easy. Nah, don't rush your shit, right? Make sure you pay attention to what the question's asking you, because that's how you trip on a lot of these SAT questions. Shit's easy. It's just so many traps that, that you can fall into. So make sure you guys watch out for what the question asks for particularly. Number 6, if xy is a solution system's equation above, what is the value of x minus y? So, first of all, I was thinking, well, do I really need to do the systems of equations where the typical move, I don't know, multiply the shit by the top one by 3 and then the bottom one by -2, so you're trying to cancel the 6x and -6x. But once again, guys, my name is Steven Kim and I like to do the least amount of work possible to still get the accurate answer. So I'm thinking, yo, once again, if you guys watch my first video, I always do this. And whenever they ask me about x minus y, I just ponder, why the fuck, out of everything they could have asked, like you could have asked for 2x and like a 3y or whatever, why the fuck would you ask x minus y? Because maybe I can just go straight into just getting that x minus y. If you guys take a look at the two equations, this is what I thought. If you add those two, you get 5x. And if you add these two, you get -5y. So what I did is, well, since they're 5 and 5, I kind of saw the pattern in there. So I was like, oh, why the fuck don't I just add these two? Where is this going to lead me to? I have freaking no clue. I'm just trying shit. So 2x plus 3x, that gives me 5x. -3y, -2y, that gives me -5y. And -14, -6, so that's -20. Well, check this out, my friends. What is the question asking again? X minus y. How the fuck do you get that? Just divide by 5 on both sides. Because then, boom, boom, boom. So that goes x minus y is equal to 20 divided by 5. Well, negative, don't forget that. -4. And you're freaking donezo. So once again, do you guys want to do that typical systems of equations that you learned in your stupid algebra class where you had to freaking cancel one variable and then plug that shit back in, and then now it's asking for x minus y, so you got to freaking plug in the x and y together and then freaking get that x minus y value? Please don't do that. This shit is literally 20-second problem if you saw that trick. Now, some of you might ask, isn't that just a coincidence? Hell no, man. I've been teaching this dumbass test for the past 14 years, and let me tell you, I guarantee you this number 6 was purposely written in that sense. So try to watch for the relationship between all the numbers and variables you see in the question, especially when you're doing the SAT question. Here we go. Number 7. The function f is defined by polynomial. Cool story, bro. I see the table up there. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to read any of these bullshizzle. Which of the following must be a factor of f of x? So what must be the factor? Let me just take a quick review on this once again. If you guys look back to this equation that I always use, well, how do you normally do it? You factor both sides, so x minus 3 and x minus 1, that's equal to 0. So x is equal to 3 and x is equal to 1. Everybody remembers how to do that from Algebra 1 class. But here's the thing. The hell does that even mean? Well, what do you call these? Well, they're called 3 different names. They all mean the same shit. Roots, x-intercepts, or zeros. Whatever the hell you want to call it. Well, I like to call this zeros because these are the values that make your y 0. So, what did I just say? Those are the values that make your y 0. So, check this out. I'm going to use this exact same logic right here. Let me just grab this x is equal to 3 as an example. The fact that x is equal to 3 is your 0 should indicate that x minus 3 was a factor to begin with. Let me say that again. If x is equal to 3 happens to be your 0, it had to come from you getting that x minus 3 as one of the factors. Using that same exact logic, take a look at this table. Well, call that y because f of x, I feel like it's just a fancy name for y. So, where's y 0? It's right there. So, if I translate that, when x is equal to 4, y is equal to 0. So once again, what do you call this shit? You call that shit the x-intercept, aka that's your 0. So where did that come from? That had to come from x minus 4, just like the logic that I pulled on you right here, right? The fact that x is equal to 3 had to mean you had x minus 3 as one of your factors. So the fact that you have x is equal to 4 being your 0 had to come from this factor x minus 4. So that's how you get the answer choice C. Number 8. The line y is equal to kx plus 4, k is constant, cool story bro, that's called slope, is graph, okay, whatever. If the line contains a point CD, that C's for the x, D's for the y, where, yeah, whatever. What is the slope of the line in terms of C and D? Now, they asking for slope. Slope is that K right there. If you guys can't recall that, Y is equal to MX plus B. That shit looks exactly the same, except they just have the K there instead of my M. So that's what the slope is. So let's go. Y is equal to KX plus 4. So let's go ahead and solve for that K first, because that's what they're asking for. Subtract 4 on both sides. And y minus 4 is equal to k over x. Now go ahead and finally divide it by x on both sides, and boom, boom. So k is equal to y minus 4 over x. Now, I don't see that in my answer choices. Why? Because they got C and D instead of the X and Y. So what do? Just simply plug that shit back in. What did they say? C is for the X. So put that C right there for the X. And then the D is for the Y. So just go ahead and put that D for the Y. And so it should be D minus 4 over C. And that's A. Number 9, in the systems of equations, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to read that bullshit. Please, guys, there's a system of equations up there. Don't read this shit. For what value of k will the system of equations have no solutions? So there are many different ways of looking at this. Let me give you my 2 different favorite ways of looking at a question like this. By the way, this number 9 is definitely going to be on your test whenever you're taking your SAT. So make sure to mark this down. So no solution, I like to see it visually and algebraically. So let me show you the visual part of it. If you guys already didn't see it, these 2 are linear equations. How the hell did I know? Let me just give you an example by solving this one out. If you just move things around, so 4x minus 5y is equal to 7. Go ahead and subtract 4x on both sides. Negative 5y is equal to negative 4x plus 7. What the hell are you doing, Steven? You'll see in a second. Divided by negative 5 on all of them. So at the end of the day, you're going to get y is equal to 4/5 x minus 7 over 5. I'm just trying to tell you that that's the typical y is equal to mx plus b, the linear equation you see, where the slope is going to be 4 over 5 and the y-intercept is negative 7 over 5. So same exact logic. The top one, the kx minus 3y is equal to 4, that should also be a linear equation. So you're looking for something that would lead you to no solution. Think about it visually. When would you have a no solution when you have 2 different lines? When you have 2 lines, something like this, the blue line and red line, that would never freaking meet each other, aka they must be parallel, aka they must have same slope, right? Because they head in the exact same direction, they will never even tilt even 1 degree, so they will never meet each other. So parallel, same slope. But I want you guys to understand they must have different y-intercept, because if they didn't have y-intercept, if they had the same y-intercept also, just look at this green line I'm about to draw. Same slope, same freaking y-intercept. That's called infinitely many solutions, meaning whatever the fuck the point I pick, well, if it's on the green line, it's gonna be on the red line. So that's called infinitely many solutions. It doesn't matter which point you pick, it's just gonna be a solution for both of them. So that's how you understand it graphically. Let me also show you how to understand this algebraically. So some people actually tend to like this one better. So what I like to write it is like this. Check this out. Imagine this. I give you 2x plus 5y is equal to 11. It's just some random ass equation I'm coming up with. And then I give you another one. 2x plus 5y is equal to 17. Look at these 2 equations. Shit doesn't make any sense. Check this out. 2x plus 5y, the top one, the red one, says it's 11. But the bottom one says the same freaking exact 2x and the same exact 5y. When you add them and you get a 17, what the fuck? The first one says it's 11. The second one says it's 17. It's like your buddy saying, I don't know, you find Jennifer hot? And you're like, oh, hell no, man. I mean, she's not my type. See, there's no answer right there. You are saying she's pretty. Your buddy's saying she's not pretty. So what the hell? Like, what's the answer? You don't freaking know. There's no solution. You guys will never come to an agreement. So same thing for girls too. If you find David hot, but like, your buddy doesn't find David hot, well, I mean, y'all have no solution. So you see what I'm trying to say here? The same X and same Y says it's 11. The same X and same Y says it's freaking 17. You're never going to get to a solution. So when you guys are looking at a question like this, when they say no solution, that's your goal. You want the same X's and the same Y's, but to say they equal something different. So let's go ahead and take a look at these two equations. Now, the way that I like to see is this. First of all, I would start with the Y's because that's the part where you don't have any variable, aka the K, right? So what I'm gonna do is this. I'll multiply the top by 5 and multiply the bottom by 3. Why the hell would I do that? You'll see in a second. So this is how it's gonna look. 5kx minus 15y is equal to 20. I just distributed all these. And then same thing, distribute 12x minus 15y is equal to 21. So check this out once again. What did I just say? I want them to say they're equal to something totally different from each other. 20 and 21, they're different. I like that. See, that's what I want, right? I want no solution. Now, I already have the y's and y's all the same. So only if I have this 5kx and the 12x, if they were to be the same, then I'm good to go. That's going to have the same x's minus the same y's, but says something different. They're equal to something different, aka same slope, but different y-intercept, aka no solution. So you ultimately just want what? 5k to equal 12. So 5k is equal to 12. So divided by 5 on both sides, and there you go. K should be 12 over 5. The answer is A. I know that was a long explanation, but whatever you guys wanted to take that, well, whatever you guys wanted to take as your, sort of favorite way to do it, well, go ahead and just take it for whatever you want, right? But for me, I like to think about it in this sense because I feel like just for the sake of SAT, this just happens to be easier and faster way of looking at a question like this where it's asking for no solution. Number 10, in the xy plane, the parabola with equation that intersects the line with equation y is equal to 25 at 2 points. Cut. Make sure when you guys hear the word intersect, all you got to do is just grab these two chisels and set them equal, because intersect means the same point should apply to both of the graphs. So x minus 11 squared, that's equal to 25. Go ahead and square root both sides, and that gives you x minus 11 is equal to 5, right? Oh, hell no. It's not 5, dude. Everybody, wake the hell up. What do I keep telling you? When you take a square root, freaking don't forget your plus or minus, because guess what? In this particular problem, it's actually going to play a role right here. So check this out. X minus 11 is equal to 5. X minus 11 is equal to negative 5. So let's go ahead and solve for both of them. Add 11 on both sides. So x is equal to 16. Add 11 on both sides. So x is equal to 6. Now, what is the question asking? Apparently, those are the points A and B. So I don't know. I'll just call that A and just call that B. It really doesn't matter which one. What is the length of AB? So you go from 16 to 6, or the other way around, 6 to 16. What's the difference? 10. So that's what the answer is. You see, if you forgot the plus or minus, you'd have been totally stuck. Like, what the fuck is this question? So I understand sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't, but you always want to make sure you have a habit of writing that plus or minus. Mark my words, somebody's going to fuck up by not putting that plus or minus. Mark my words for it. Number 11, figure not drawn to scale. Anytime they say that shit, do not believe what you see. To me, they all look like 60 degrees, X, Y, Z, W, U, T, but I ain't gonna believe it because that's what they said. Well, a lot of the time they say that shit, but like you can really trust it, but whatever. In the figure above lines, whatever, intersect. I'm not dumb, I'm not stupid. If X plus Y is equal to U plus W, okay, whatever the fuck that means, which of the following must be true? So let's go. Roman number 1, x is equal to z. So apparently, x has to equal z. Well, obviously, I got to use this equation because that shit is the only thing that I was ever given. Now, I already see the x there, so x is cool. But where the fuck is z? I don't see z. So let's go to this diagram and try to mark some stuff. If you guys realize, that y and u are basically vertical angles. So yes, figure out your onto scale. Yes, I don't know what the fuck the degrees are, but I can say for sure y has to equal u because they are vertical angles. The same exact mechanism. The w and z have to be the same. I don't care what they are, they have to be the same. Now, for the x and t, they also have to be the same. Why? Because they're vertical angles. Now, can I say some shit like y is equal to z? Well, it kind of looks like it. You can't say that because figure not drawn to scale. Those three pairs are the only pairs that I can ever say for sure with certainty. So let's go. X is equal to z. Well, I don't see z in this equation, but you know what? I can actually replace the w with z because w is z. So let me just put that z right there. So check out what it becomes. X plus y is equal to u plus z. So if you are trying to say that x is equal to z, these two are equal, you must also prove that the y and u are equal. Are they? Absolutely. Look at that. We already established it in the very beginning. Y is equal to u. Why? Because they're vertical angles. So, you know what? Roman numeral 1, that's good to go. Next, let's try the Roman numeral 2. Y is equal to w. Same exact concept. Well, except I don't really have to replace anything because if you guys realize, y is equal to w, so y is equal to w. It's already in that equation. I just have to prove that x is equal to u. Can I prove that? Absolutely not. Take a look. The top one says y is equal to u, not x is equal to u. The x is equal to t, not x is equal to u. So you can't say that shit, so 2's out. So here we go. 1's good, 2's out. So that 2, out. Anything that includes 2, out. Anything that includes 2, out. B. Now, don't we have to make sure 3 works, like just in case? Oh, hell no, man. Y'all can do it if you want and use the same logic as what I just did. But if I were you, I wouldn't do that because enough is enough. I'm just going to move on to the next damn question because this is a goddamn time test. It's under 25 minutes. I have to get going. But just to make sure, if you guys want to understand how that's done, same thing. You want to say z is equal to t. Well, guess what? This equation doesn't have either the z or t. So we got to replace that shit. Instead of x, I'm going to put t. So right there. Instead of w, I'm going to put z. So right there. So if you want to prove that z is equal to t, so z is equal to t, you must prove that y is equal to u. Is it? Absolutely. We already established that in the very beginning. So yes, Roman numeral 3 works, and the answer therefore is B. But did I really have to check that shizzle? Hell no, man. I ain't doing it. If 2 didn't work, enough is enough. I would have just moved on. Number 12, in the quadratic equation above, whatever bullshit, whatever. It's a parabola. Yeah, I mean, that's a parabola. With the vertex C and D, which of the following is equal to D? Here's the thing. So, C is for the X, so I'm just going to put that right there. And then D is for the Y, so I'm just going to put that right there. So, that's what the equation becomes. I'm trying to solve for this D. So, you know what? Looking at the answer choices, they all carry that A in it. So I'm just like, well, okay, I probably don't have to worry about the A because they already have it in there, so I don't need to solve for it. But what the hell is that C, right? So in order to do this problem, the easiest way is to graphically visualize it. Check this out. If those two are the factors, going back to the previous question earlier in this section, well, then C is equal to 2 better be a 0, and C is equal to negative 4 better be a 0. So if you guys just imagine how this looks, well, like 2 and negative 4, I don't know if the parabola is even like, opening upward or downward, the sad face or smiley face. What I don't know shit, but because I'm a positive person, I'm just going to have a smiley face like this, right? Whatever. So now, what do I know about the shape of the parabola? You know what they say? The most beautiful face, apparently, according to science, is the most perfectly symmetrical face. So stop freaking judging people by their covers and shit like that. I mean, stop saying who's pretty, who's not. Because you know what, scientifically speaking, if you have a pretty symmetrical face, you are a good-looking person. So have some confidence. But anyway, whatever. So parabola is a perfectly symmetrical shape. Now, meaning, if that negative 4 and the 2 are the 2 zeros, you know what? That freaking vertex right there, I don't know where the fuck it is, but you know what? I just said it's perfectly symmetrical, so that better be right down in the middle of these two zeros. Why? Because that has to be right in the middle to make it perfectly symmetrical. So what do? -4 and 2. Find the midpoint. Well, midpoint, how do you do that? Just take average. It's like this. Yo, like your families came over and then, I don't know, your brother got like $600 and then you only got like $200. Is that fair? Hell no. So what do you suggest? Just throw them all into one pot, $800, and just split it halfway. Same thing. -4 and 2, add them together, and divide it by 2. That's how you take the average. So that's -2 over 2, which is -1. So what do I know? Well, that vertex, I don't know what the y is still, but I do know what the x is. X is -1. Why? I don't know. So what do I do now? That -1, the x value for the vertex, put that shit back in right there. So that becomes a times -1 minus 2 and -1 plus 4. And that's a times -3 and 3. So there you go, -9y. The answer should be A. I know that sounded like it was a lot, but that's because I'm literally walking you one baby step at a time. But if you guys saw what the hell this question was doing to you, basically you just have to think parabola is a perfectly symmetrical shape. So I don't know the damn thing about what A is or what the y value is going to be for the vertex, but I should know what the x value is for the vertex based on the fact that it has to be right down in the middle of the two zeros. How do you find the two zeros? Just look at the factors. Number 13. The equation that is true for all values of x, whatever bullshizzle, what is the value of a? So believe it or not, this question should take you no more than 20 seconds. Now, how do you do it? This is how I would have done it. First of all, I'm a guy who fucking hates fractions. Fractions are just freaking annoying. Don't do fractions. So first thing I would have thought is this. Multiply the whole goddamn thing by ax minus 2. Why? Because that's going to take care of the entire denominators. So let's go one at a time. If you multiply that, boom, boom, that goes away. So 24x squared plus 25x minus 49 is equal to, god damn it, that I need to kind of foil it. So ax minus 2 times -8x minus 3. And then lastly, that part, well, that goes away. So it's just simply minus 53. Now, I know that doesn't look like 20-second question, but bear with me. It's going to be super easy. Once again, my name is Steven Kim, and I like to do the least amount of work possible to still get the accurate answer. I ain't gonna foil that entire shit because this is what I'm thinking in my head. Yo, bro, let's think one thing at a time. See, you see this 24x squared. The only thing, if you guys look at the right side, the only thing that can ever lead you to something x squared is only when you multiply this ax with the -8x. Look around. If you were to foil that shit, nothing else is going to give you something x squared. So think about it. Whatever the a is, when you multiply the a and -8, you better get that 24. So what is it? -3. -3 times -8. That's what's gonna get you that 24. So do not foil the rest of the shit and like set up everything, like try to cancel whatever. Don't do it. Enough is enough. That's how you would think that this is a 20-second question. Just only pay attention to whatever you really need to do, right? Number 14. What are the solutions to this? Well, first of all, what I like to do is I always hate when there's a number in front of that x squared, the leading term. So what I'm going to do is I'll divide the whole goddamn thing by 3s because you know what? The right side is still 0 anyway. So x squared plus 4x plus 2 is equal to 0. And then I try to factor and I'm like, fuck, that doesn't work. So what do I got to do? I got to do quadratic equation or completing the squares. In this particular video, I'm going to do quadratic equation because I don't know, for whatever the reason it is, that just seems to be the more favorited version for many people. I fucking hate it, but I'm just going to do it because this is still in the beginning. This only test 3. So here we go. -b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Y'all, any of y'all had to sing a goddamn song for this stupid equation in your class? I mean, if you did, well, I feel sorry for you because you know what? I was on the same page and I freaking hated that song, but whatever. -4 plus or minus square root of 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 2 all over 2 times 1. If you don't know where I'm getting all these numbers from, well, the 1's coming from right there, the a. And then the 4 is coming from right there, the b, and then obviously the c is gonna be 2. If you still don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, y'all really need to do some review on that stupid quadratic equation. So -4 plus or minus square root of 16 minus 8 all over 2. So -4 plus or minus square root of 8 all over 2. Negative 4 plus or minus, how to simplify that rational? So that's 2 times 2 times 2. So you can take that out. So that becomes 2 radical 2 all over 2. If you don't know how I do this, y'all also need to review some radicals. Just look up some square root practice worksheet PDF on Google, and y'all might want to work on like 2 to 3 different pages of worksheets, and you're going to get it easy. So now go ahead and finally divide the 2's on everything, and that's what leads you to negative 2 plus or minus radical 2. So I'm either looking for negative 2 plus radical 2 or negative 2 minus radical 2, or just A simply. All right, number 15. So let me just take this away. Number 15, the equation above shows whatever bullshit. I'm not stupid. That's a Fahrenheit in degrees Celsius, whatever. Based on the equation, which of the following must be true. Now, check this out. Number 1, 2, 3, Roman number 1, 2, 3, all talk something about the temperature of this increase should lead to the increase of that shit or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So we're basically trying to compare how much of an increase is going to lead to how much of an increase on the other variable. So check this out. I want you guys to understand. Just imagine I grab this and I increase it by 1. Now, if you think about the impact on the Celsius, would that be the same effect? As in, like, I bumped the Fahrenheit by 1, so is the Celsius also going to go up by 1? And the answer is, of course, hell no. Because why? Check this out. That's bumping up by 1 is actually countered by multiplying by that 5 over 9. So you see, 5 over 9 is a value less than 1. So yes, if you bump up the Fahrenheit by 1, your degree Celsius is actually gonna go up by 5 over 9. Why? Because that the plus 1 impact on the Fahrenheit is going to be multiplied by 5 over 9 eventually to get to the Celsius. So the way I'm going to generalize is this. When Fahrenheit goes up by this much, the Celsius goes up by like this much. That's how I'm going to generalize it. Now, I know that seems way too generic to be true, but trust me, that's more than plenty to answer this question. Take a look. Roman number 1, a temperature of increase of 1 degrees Fahrenheit is equivalent to 5/9 degrees Celsius. Let's go. So Fahrenheit, woo, and then Celsius, that literally matches what I have up there. So that's good to go. Next, Roman number 2, an increased temperature of 1 degree Celsius is 1.8 Fahrenheit. So Celsius only about 1 and Fahrenheit 1.8. Woo, I like that too. How about Roman number 3? A temperature increase of 5/9 degrees Fahrenheit is equal to 1 degree Celsius. So Fahrenheit a little bit and Celsius, woo! Hell no, man, that doesn't match my shit. That's the opposite. So 3's out. So it's only 1 and 2. So the answer is 1 and 2, choice D. You see, you really don't have to do the exact math. Just kind of figure out the pattern. Is that just a coincidence? Like, you can only do that on that particular question? Hell no. Like I've been telling you, I've been teaching this dumbass test for the past 14 years. I know what these guys do. You can mark my words for it. Number 16. If x is greater than 0, whatever, cool story, bro. What is one possible solution? One possible solution. Try not to be an overachiever and get everything. First of all, divide both sides by x. Why? Because, I don't know, just because the guys can. Anytime you guys have something that you can cancel, please freaking get it out of the way. So we get that shit. Okay, now at this point, if y'all don't know what to do, you can just literally start plugging in from like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever freaking works. But let me show you how this is done. Do not be intimidated by this x to the 4th power, because you know what? It's going to be much easier than what it actually seems to be. It's just deceiving. Treat this shit like you are doing x squared minus 5x is equal to negative 4. How would you do this? Add 4 on both sides, set it equal to 0. X squared minus 5x plus 4 is equal to 0. So factor x minus 4 and x minus 1, and that's equal to 0. So x is equal to 4 and x is equal to 1. That's how you would normally do it. So do the same exact concept right there. So we're going to go ahead and add 4 on both sides. So set it equal to 0. X to the 4th minus 5x squared plus 4 is equal to 0. Same thing, factor. And look, the only difference is what? Instead of x and x, well, because this is the 4th power, I'm going to have x squared and x squared. That's the only difference, but rest of it is the same. So minus 4 minus 1. I'm just going to continue right here. So x squared minus 4 is equal to 0. X squared is equal to 4. Square roots both sides. So x is equal to 2. Hell no, it's not 2. plus or minus. I'm gonna harass the shit out of everybody with that forever, because you know what, the college board douchebags do it, so I have no choice but to do it on YouTube. And then that part, x squared minus 1 is equal to 0, so x squared is equal to 1, square root both sides, x is equal to plus or minus 1. So you can either put 1 or 2, whatever the hell you want. All right, next, number 17. If that's true, what is the value of x? So first of all, let's go ahead and subtract these two. 7 over 9 minus 4 over 9, common denominator. That's very nice. 3 over 9, x is equal to, let's try to add these two together. Uh-oh, not a common denominator, so I have to have common denominator myself. So I got to multiply by 3 over 3 on this guy, so that becomes 3 over 12 plus 5 over 12. So take a look, 3 and 9, I can reduce it. Remember, if there's anything you can reduce, freaking do it. 1/3 x is equal to, now you add them together, that's 8 over 12. Once again, you can reduce, right? Boom, boom, by 4s. So you get 1/3 x is equal to, that's going to lead you to 2 over 3 when you divide both of them by 4s. And now finally, go ahead and multiply by 3 on both sides. Steven, why the hell would you do that? So that the 1/3 goes away, that's next to the x. And there you go, x is equal to 2 it is, done. Value of x, 2. All right, number 18. Figure not drawn to scale, don't believe what you see. 2 isosceles triangles. Okay, so isosceles, but it's already marked nicely with the ticks, so I'm good to go. If 180 minus z is equal to 2y, okay, whatever, and y is 75, okay, well, I can put that shizzle back in right there. So let's do that first. 180 minus z is equal to 2 times 75, which is 150. Go ahead and subtract 180 on both sides. And that's what's going to get you. Negative z is negative 30. So z is equal to 30. Let's mark that shit on the diagram. 30 right there. What is the value of x? So I want the x. Freaking don't circle this 30. I've seen some dumbass people doing it. It's not 30, the final answer. We're looking for x. So let's go. They said it's isosceles triangle, aka that side, the blue, and that side, they're equal. What does that mean? That angle right there and that angle right there, the two angles better also be equal. What does the triangle add up to? 180 degrees. So that shizzle, that shizzle, that shizzle. So 30 plus, I'm just going to call it the blue angle plus another, the blue angle, the same freaking blue angle, and they better equal 180. Subtract 30 on both sides. Boom. So 2 of the blue angle is equal to 150. And then if you guys divide by 2 on both sides, the one angle should equal 75. So that's my answer, right? No, that's not your answer, because what does that mean? Go back here. That's right there. That's 75 and that's 75. You are trying to look for the x. So look at these two angles. The x and the 75, they make supplementary angles, aka that add up to 180. So x plus 75 is equal to 180. Subtract 75 on both sides, and there you go. X is equal to 105. That's your freaking final answer. So see, the real dumbasses put 30 as the answer. The kind of a little bit smarter ones still put 75 as the answer. The real smart kids actually put 105 as the answer. My definition of smart is not like, oh, you can do your mental math in like the 0.17 seconds. You memorize like the 38 digits after the freaking 3.1415 on the pi. It's not like that. Do you know what the fuck you're doing? Do you know what the question's asking you? I always talk about this. Reading the question's half and doing the question is the other half. Number 19, at a lunch stand, each hamburger has 50 more calories than the order of fries. Cut. Hamburger has 50 more than fries. There you go. If 2 hamburgers and 3 order of fries, cut. 3 hamburgers and 3 fries. I'm sorry, 2 hamburgers. 2 hamburgers and 3 fries have a total of 1,700 calories. Cut. 1,700. How many calories does a hamburger have? So I'm looking for hamburger. Trust me. Mark my words. Hamburger we're looking for. So first of all, you have this. You can go ahead and simply put that shizzle into where the h is by this idea of substitution. H is 50 plus f, so you can just put that in there. So what do you get? 2 times 50 plus f plus 3f is equal to 1,700. So distribute 100 plus 2f plus 3f is equal to 1,600. Well, 1,700, I'm sorry. 1,700. And then subtract 100 on both sides. Boom. So 5f is equal to 1,600. Go ahead and divide it by 5 on both sides. Boom. And you can go ahead and do that typical, the 1600 divided by 5. You could do that. But what I like to do, if anybody's ever wondering how I do my mental math fast, I look at the 1600 as two different pieces, 1500 and 100. And I divide them separately. Because, check this out, 1500 divided by 5, that's 300, and 100 divided by 5, that's 20, so 320 together. So that's how I get f is equal to 320. Do you see what I just did? Do you like it? Take it. You don't like it? Fuck it. So now that's my answer, right? Hell no, because go back again. Hamburger, we're looking for hamburger. So you got to put that shit back into this equation. You can put it to the top equation or bottom equation. It doesn't matter. But would you really want to do it right here? Hell no, I wouldn't do that. Just put it right there. Hamburger is 50 plus the fries, which is 320. So 370 is your final answer. So one small tip I can give you is this. Y'all realize when I plugged in that 50 plus f into the second equation, you see I essentially am solving for the f. So instead, what you could have done is you could have just subtracted 50 on both sides. Why the hell would you do that? Because then that's going to lead you to h minus 50 is equal to f. And if you choose to put that shit in there, then you will automatically be dealing with the variable h to begin with, not the f. So that's just a small tip. You like it? Take it. You don't like it? Well, don't take it, but make sure you freaking go back to the question and make sure you know what the fuck the question's asking for instead of just getting the, oh, 3, 2, 1, that wasn't too bad, and you just circle that as answer. Don't do it. That's like doing all the work and just serving them the type of trap that they wanted you to fall into. Number 20, in triangle ABC, the measure of angle B is 90. Cut. Draw that. It's a right triangle. B is 90 degrees. BC is 16. Where should I put C? The above or below? It doesn't fucking matter. I just put C right there. And that's 16. And AC is 20. Well, I mean, the other one has to be the A, so that's 20 right there. Cut. I hope everybody realizes the relationship. I always talk about that. The relationship between the number 20 and 16. You can try dividing both by 4s. If you do that, that becomes 5. That becomes 4. Guess what? 3, 4, 5. Except it's not really 3 out there because I divided by 4. So I got to put the multiply by 4 back in. That's 12. Or you can do your stupid little Pythagorean theorem to do it, but it's a big number. I wouldn't do it. But do I even need that shit? Maybe, maybe not. But let's see what the question's saying. Triangle DEF is similar to ABC. So let me just draw another version. Is it bigger? Is it smaller? I don't really know. DEF corresponds to ABC. So let's go. A, that's where my D is. B, that's where my E is. C, that's where my F is. Okay. And each side of the triangle is a DEF is a third of the corresponding side of the triangle ABC. So it's a third. Okay. So what do? Well, 20 divided by 3, 16 divided by 3, and 12 divided by 3. That's what I would have done. Now, 20 divided by 3, please don't do that shit. Well, that's going to be 6.6666667, but don't do any math like that until you really have to. Another thing, does my green triangle look like it's a third of a size of the red one? Hell no, it doesn't look like that, but do I give a shit? No, I don't. What is the value of sine f? Check this out. Okay, fine. You can go ahead and take sine of f. F is right there. Let me just do that in blue. F is right there. So sine is what? Opposite over hypotenuse. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So you can go ahead and do 12 over 3 all over 20 over 3. I mean, if anybody is familiar with just, you can cancel like that. So that just literally becomes 12 over 20. And if you reduce by the 4s, that's actually 3 over 5. So if you saw that, great, good for you. But if you're the type of person who would look at that 12 over 3 and 12 over 3 over 20 over 3, the fraction over fraction over fraction, well, if you don't like that, check this out. Taking sine of f, isn't that basically the same freaking thing as taking sine of c? Because they're similar goddamn triangles. Let me prove my point to you. Opposite 12 over hypotenuse 20. It's the same shit that we got over here. So just go ahead and reduce by 4s. Once again, it's 3 over 5. So it really didn't matter because sine of anything is opposite over hypotenuse in terms of its ratio. I don't give a shit if the triangle is bigger or smaller. The ratio has to be the same if we're dealing with the same, or I'm sorry, it's not the same, but similar triangles, meaning they have the same proportions.